Coming up on this episode of The Village Idiom.
There's got to be something there.
What about a velociraptor on a velocipede traveling at some velocity?
Village Idiom. Hello, and welcome to The Village Idiom.
We are a podcast that every week chooses a popular saying to take a shallow but hopefully comedic and once in a while even interesting dive into its meaning, its usage, its origins, but also we're going to use it to hang our otherwise directionless conversation on. My name is Jurassic Mark.
And I am Skinny.
Welcome back, Skinny.
It's good, man.
I haven't seen you since the last time. Oh, I saw you once, quickly.
Yeah, we see each other every few days now.
Yeah, that's true. It used to be every day.
Now it's like every third day.
Yeah.
It actually is almost
It feels like a long time.
I
miss
good.
you.
I got this new motto. What do you think?
Drink coffee, do good.
Drink coffee, do good. You love coffee, right?
I can't stand coffee.
What?
Yeah.
You're sick.
You're
the one guy.
I'm now 48 years old, and I've had every person, friend who just try this. It doesn't taste like coffee. Try this one. It's not. Try the. If you just give it time, it'll grow on you. I hate it from day one. So why do I want
your thing?
Why do I want it to grow on me?
Well, I don't know. Sometimes it's just having something that you keep at it. You find a love for it. You never forget.
Nice. You make me laugh with your segues because I know why we're here. I know why we come together with microphones in front of us. Yet as soon as we start, I forget, and then you do a funny little segue, and I'm like, what are you saying? Oh, right. It has something to do with. Okay, listen to this.
So, I get the job, we take down Dom, precinct saved, then I do an ice pick 360 on the
Recognize
podium
this?
at the press conference.
Awesome. One question. Do you still know how to ride?
Come on, riding a bike? It's like riding a bike.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Yeah, that's it.
It's hilarious.
Riding a bike?
It's like riding a
bike. And that's today's idiom.
Perfect.
It's like riding a bicycle.
It's funny how you can take a break, and we had extensive time off to enjoy ourselves through the summer, but still had idioms all recorded in there. But you jump right back on.
Yeah, it's like riding a bike.
It's like riding a bike.
Yeah. But, we'll get into origins, but it's interesting how this gets used. I realize that I've used it different ways. So obviously if you look up, what does like riding a bike mean? I wrote down this definition. The old expression, just like riding a bike, is often used to describe something that comes second nature and should be easy to do. It implies that we know everything about an activity and can take off right where we left off.
Right.
That's probably the most common way of using it.
Would you say you have some friendships that are like riding a bike?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I've got, it's funny because I've got, how do I say this carefully for the people who listen to me? So I've got friendships where go all the way back to elementary school, or high school for sure, but some elementary school friends, and you don't see them all the time, but when you see each other, you just pick up and go. Right. But I got other friends with the same length of time, but are upset that you're not talking to them all the time.
Right.
And I'm like,
but some it's like,
and they're like, well, you must talk to that guy all the time.
Well, yeah, because he's like riding a bike.
I'm like, if I do get a hold of you, let's just pick up where we left off.
Can we just enjoy this? This is why I don't call you.
Otherwise, I don't want to be your friend.
This conversation alone is why I don't.
It's why. It's not like riding
annoying.
A bike. It's like riding a pogo stick.
It's like the unicycle of friendships.
Can you ride a unicycle?
No, I don't. You've tried, right?
I gave it a valiant effort on it, but on a crap unicycle.
I can't skateboard. I can't roller skate. I can't inline skate. So my unicycling, I'm not. I'm not thinking that's going well.
Because I was about to say, well, I don't do any of those things, but I have a skateboard. I go skateboarding out just in the neighborhood with my daughter.
Sure,
but now that skateboarding is a thing. If somebody says, do you skateboard? I'd go, no. Right? But because I'm not doing a single trick. Right. I'm going down the street with my kids. But,
pulling me by a rope.
Yeah. So, do you skateboard?
On her bike.
Oh, sweet. What can you do? I can stand on it while it's rolling. But nobody questions you on a bike.
My arm.
Do you ride bikes? Yeah. Nobody's like, oh, really? Like,
so you ride
do
bikes.
An ice pick 360?
Exactly. Well, there's a few skate parks in our area. One thing that I wanted to touch on briefly is to see if we're children of the
corn
of the 80s. My friend Damien, children of the corn, so lovely. Could you name 3 80s bicycles?
Sure. Well, I can name my own.
There's my bike. My sister's bike.
My friend had a great one. Okay, so I have a story to tell about my bike, but I'll just name 3 80s bikes. So I'm cheating a little bit because we brought one up in a recent episode. So Kuwahara BMX.
Yeah. You got a model even?
I'm sorry?
Do you know a model?
Diamondback.
That's,
I didn't have it.
that
wasn't my bike.
I had a Diamondback.
My bike, which comes with a story I'll tell later, was a Norco 10-speed.
Norco.
Yeah. Remember Norcos?
Yeah, of course. That's still a thing, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, I think. I don't really know. And then...
You've seen the bike industry. Norco fell behind in the great derailer debacle of 2004.
I don't know anything about this. I did some research on stuff. And then I had one of my first jobs was with Rocky Mountain Bikes.
Okay. Oh, there you go. So you are up on your bikes.
Yeah.
I was researching it because I'm like, oh man, some of those bikes are fun from back in the day. Talk about like riding a bike, because we would hit BMX tracks and do big jumps and all that sort of thing. Do you remember the Rally Chopper?
I remember Rally as a brand. I don't remember the chopper, but I can picture it because there was kits you could modify your bike to look like a chopper.
They're like where you're kind of like hanging on it like a chimpanzee.
I just saw a guy. I just was telling somebody the story. Took my son to get his driver's license, and while I was waiting for him, this classic like Harley chopper handlebars up here, but the guy was just a little guy, like all bearded up, like couldn't look more biker, but maybe 5'2".
Was a little guy.
So his hands were like no bend in his arms.
He's not listening.
Yeah. No bend in his arms as he held the handlebars.
Right.
Like it was like
one of his friends had to like pick him up and put it on.
That can't be comfortable riding that. So yeah, the chopper rally.
But that guy could do like pull-ups for hours.
He had to.
Or die. Mongoose.
Oh yeah. But Mongoose was a sub brand under something else.
It was a model. Yeah. I'm not sure if it was Kuwahara.
Was it still Kuwahara?
I think it might have been Kuwahara. And the Red Line.
I don't know the Red Line.
I just thought I'd throw out some 80s bike.
Yeah, I remember
trivia.
the Mongoose. I was jealous. We talked about this the other day. I was jealous of all the true BMX bikes because I had a modified. It used to be a banana seat bike that swap out the seat, put in the plastic spokes. You remember the plastic spokes?
You know the hardest part about riding a banana seat bike, right? It's just that it's elongated like that.
Your sisters.
It's just that it's that elongated seat that's hard to get your leg over.
I did have a banana seat bike, but the back of it had a almost like a seat rest that went up higher than my head.
It's like a baby seat.
No, you've seen it on like Harley Davidsons where it's like.
It's like the chopper.
Yeah, it's like the chopper. I had that on one of my bike seats, but it wasn't the chopper. It was again
5-point harness.
Somebody threw.
Yeah, so that's like riding a bike. One of my biggest, I was telling an arm break story, was doing BMXing in the ravine.
The ravine.
BMXing in the ravine went over the handlebars and.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's why we were talking about the Diamondback and whatnot.
The BMX type phase for like riding a bike, it's I've tried to since do balancing things. I don't know if it's just like you get old and. Like you stop working?
I think there's also something about that 14-year-old body frame when you're like 80 pounds.
Oh, that's what it is.
And like right now, if you get on a BMX or if I get a BMX, it looks like a circus. Like, well, look at the bear riding a bike.
He's in a pantsuit.
Okay, so my Norco 10-speed, before we get into origins and stuff, my Norco 10-speed, I play this game. You know, you pick up things from your dad. This is one thing I picked up, and I'm like, I will do this forever. It's if we ever went to a restaurant, you'd order, you eat, and then the bill would come. My dad would hold it, and he goes, "Okay." Me and my two sisters, my two sisters, not scissors. I wasn't. Anyway, he would say, "Okay, here I got the bill in my hand. If you guys can guess the bill, including tax, within 10 cents." You'll get a prize, and the prize varied. It could be, we'll rent a movie. Remember renting movies? We'll rent a movie and the machines. And so this one time, he knew I was chomping at the bit for a new bike, and he goes, "All right, we were at Mother Tucker's." And he says, if you can guess the bill within 10 cents, you'll get. We'll go before we go home.
Mother Tuckers or Fuddruckers?
No, Mother Tuckers.
Oh, okay.
We'll go to the bike store on our way home, and you can get that black Norco 10-speed. And so I was like, "Oh man!" And Like, never thought ahead to, like, what did everyone order and pay attention to the menu. So I gave it my best shot. And his jaw just drops. I got it within 7 cents.
That's amazing.
And my mom hits him like, what did you do? Obviously not prepared to go and drop a couple $100.
Do you have any idea how much this is going to cost us?
So we went straight to the bike store.
That's amazing.
We bought a matching. He got himself one.
Of course,
and we went biking.
That's like a dad win kind of moment.
Yeah, so we had
it's so extravagant.
2 10 speeds and bombing around, all because I guessed the bill within 7
Particularly
cents.
back in the day, as a teen, a bicycle is like a car.
Yeah,
minus 2 wheels.
Right.
It's half of a car. Well, the whole premise being it's a means to an end.
Yeah,
it's
your ride. Do you feel like it was more back then than now?
Yes. Definitely. Not even because I'm not into bike culture, but the bikes now are insane. Like, we were just up to Whistler a few weeks.
Now. I mean, kids aren't riding their bikes around the
but their bikes are like $3,000.
Oh,
right. And so that's not even like a thing. It's like, oh yeah, I was mountain biking at Whistler. It's like, oh, what? I went to a ravine. There was no pay $100, get on a gondola with my bike.
Right.
Bike wasn't even worth $100.
I remember being on the gondola watching these mountain bikers go down that hill. Mm-hmm. And from where we were, we could see there was a bear on one of the trails.
Definitely.
And and one biker after the other just screeching the brakes or wiping out as they come. Like, the bear's just standing there. I think he enjoyed it because he never moved. He never moved.
Hiding behind a
stump. It wasn't even real. He never moved. And it was just like biker after biker.
Watching people bail.
Yeah.
Having something like that's a means to an end. That's like riding a bike.
Beautiful. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, there you go.
Well, it's going to be a challenge today, but do you want to get into our origins
today,
talk about,
unless you found something, is a mighty kind of terrible.
Well, it is kind of terrible, but I think it's going to be a good day.
Let's do it.
I said some words. Where'd they go? Where'd they go? No one can know. I turned around and looked behind. Those words came from another mind. Origins.
That's so like, and
for whatever reason, when you went over, you like knuckle touched the screen of my phone and
I know I saw that.
erased today's notes.
Actually erased it,
but
no,
then
I did not.
But then there was an undo button that popped up, so I'm like undo, and then it was power off. Like, you just had a technical tsunami hit.
Did you save it?
Yeah.
What could I possibly have hit to delete it?
Is there a delete button somewhere?
That's so funny.
Yeah, it was like undo, undo. Whatever that is, undo it. So anyways.
Well,
oranges.
As you alluded to, there is basically no origin to this being a saying in the English language. It's just, I don't know if it's just too common sense, too tang common sense, or what it is, but I did my best to dig up some information about why we have this. I don't know if you came across this. A lot of people, without a lot of thought and without any explanation, attributed it to Albert Einstein. Did you get that?
Mm-mm.
So this is an actual Albert Einstein quote right here. Of course, this is not his voice.
Beim Menschen ist es wie beim Velo. Nur wenn fährt, kann bequem die Balance halten.
Yeah, you got that? So that's why people think that.
Definitely. I couldn't have said that in a more robotic German accent.
February 5th, 1930. He wrote a letter to his son Edward that included this remark that we just heard. And it's been published a few times, but the literal translation, as best as we can do it is the same with people as it is with riding a bike. Only when moving can one comfortably maintain one's balance. So he gets the credit for this, but it's not really even used the same way. Although that's what I was alluding to earlier, that I realized I've used it different ways. So he's using it. It's like riding a bike, meaning got to keep moving forward. If you want to stay balanced, you got to keep moving, just like riding a bike.
I like that.
Yeah, it's almost a healthier way of using that. So that was Einstein. You'll find that a lot on the internet if you're doing a quick search, that Einstein gets the credit for having made that up, but simply not the case. And so
I did come across a whole nother vein.
Okay.
Regarding Irina Dunn.
No, give it to me. I haven't. It's not sounding familiar.
So it's not familiar. But there was some conjecture that perhaps the Like Riding a Bike came out of this. Irina Dunn, Australian educator, journalist, politician who coined the phrase in 1970. But we know it's earlier. So that's why it lacks credence.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
But her phrase, which she attributes, she wrote, "A woman needs a man like a fish needs a bike."
Okay, I've heard the fish and bike. Is that hers?
Yeah, so apparently, whether she was the originator or not, but she coined it. And so there's documentation that she wrote that on the back of 2 toilet stalls, one at her university and another one at a bar that she attended.
Funny.
Yeah, a woman needs a man like a fish needs a bicycle.
So I've heard the fish and the bicycle used in a variety of ways, like a fish needs a bike, or as odd as a fish on a bicycle.
I need that like I need a hole in the head.
Yeah, like a fish needs a bicycle.
It was...
What's her name again? Alina Dunn?
That's like the actress. That's Lena Dunham. A woman needs a man like a fish needs a bicycle. An A needs a B like a C needs a D. Is the overall phrasing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so there's varying versions. Man needs God like fish needs a bicycle. And so there's all sorts of spin-offs of it. And it's a I need that like I need another hole in my head.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of phrase. But I wasn't at all adverse.
What did you say her name was? Something Dunn, right?
Irina.
Oh, Irina.
Irina Dunn.
Irina Dunn.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's good. I'm trying to think. I just heard that quoted somewhere in a different capacity. It's not coming to me, but I thought this was funny in the wake of it potentially being German first.
Okay.
This is from the TV show Veep.
Dave, push-ups are like riding a bike. You'll
Nope.
never be able to do either of them.
That's not it. What do you think? Do you like it so far?
Well, German is if once it's with you, it stays with you. It's like riding ein Bike.
That's the one.
That's good.
German stays with you. It's like riding ein Bike.
Riding a bicycle.
Yeah. So before this, I did come across, which I thought lended itself really well to what we're talking about today. Not its origins, but what was this type of saying before it's like riding a bike? What was said before that? Because bikes aren't that old as far as history goes. So before it's like riding a bike, people generally said it's just like swimming or it's just like skating. Those were the two popular ones.
I wonder if we can just like on the spot keep jumping this back into history.
Like what was before? Whoa.
I know you just keep going back.
Before swimming? Maybe before skating.
Okay.
So maybe skating was before biking and before skating was swimming. And then you're stuck.
I need that like I need...
No, but that's a different... A to B to C to D is different than...
The like riding a bike?
It's like riding a bike. So this one, they said it's just like swimming, goes back the furthest. And how's this for a word? The Velocipedomania. Velocipedomania. Do you know what a velocipede is?
I was accused once of being a velocipede, but after a settlement, everything was cleared, and I've...
It doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Because a velocipede is a bike. Back in the day. So velocipedes were bike. Velocipedomania was spreading. Started in Paris and France and America. Velocipedes or bicycle. Okay, so let me back up. This is an actual snippet of an article in the Royal Cornwall Gazette, April 1st, 1869.
Yeah.
So this is old, baby.
You just keep swinging it back. There has to be this phrase throughout history. Like it has to.
But this is interesting because this is about bikes, but doesn't use this saying. Listen,
it's like putting another brick in the
Velocipedomania
wall.
is spreading, and we may expect shortly to be as familiar with these new conveyances in London as in Paris. In America, also, velocipedes, or bicycles as they're called, are becoming very popular. I may mention, by the way, that the art of sitting and working a velocipede is by no means easy to acquire, and intending velocipedists may prepare themselves for sundry hard falls and bruises. It is, in fact, just like skating. Very difficult to learn at first and easy enough once the knack is acquired. So they're literally talking about bikes and saying it's just like skating. Isn't that funny? Because we say it's just like riding a bike, but they're actually talking about
I'm still stuck on Velocipede.
bike craze.
Remembering that for its likelihood of coming up later.
Yeah, you should.
As a riddle.
You should.
But like a velociraptor. Is that like a
biped?
A biking bird?
It's a probably has something to do with two.
Why?
I don't know.
A raptor is a bird.
Maybe it has to do with speed, velocity,
There's the Velodrome, which is the bike track, isn't it?
I don't know.
I think the Velodrome is where like the guys get on the bike with the one.
There must be some root word there between Velocipede and Velociraptor.
Sure.
And the fact that it's a biped. Huh.
There's got to be something there.
What about a Velociraptor on a Velocipede traveling at some velocity?
I like it.
So we might not know where it comes from or why, but we do know that it goes back pretty far. 1896, there's some quotes of it being used exactly the way we use it. 1915, I could skate all right. There used to be an empty lot next to where I lived when I was a kid. Ice skating is one of those things you never forget, like swimming and riding a bike. So while others turning up give an exhibition of my own, that was Molly of the movies, 1915. So it goes back.
It's like emptying a honey pot.
So, like emptying honey pot? Is that the older one?
I'm just
making up stuff?
Yeah, I'm trying to go back in time.
It's like starting a fire. It's like carving a bear.
It's like hunting brontosaur.
That reminds me of these extreme ones. This is funny. Wow, we're taking a left turn here.
Weird.
The story of Samson in the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
There's a funny sidebar story of him walking along and killing a lion. And then he makes a poem about it. But in those few verses about him killing the lion, he says something along the lines of, and he tore apart this lion as you would a goat. And I'm like, that's an example? Like, how did he tear apart the lion?
Like you tear apart a goat.
Like you would a goat. Like a normal
guy. It's like
guy.
tearing apart a goat. What?
You don't know how to do that? Well, I did it when I was a kid. Oh, you'll be fine. It's like tearing apart a goat.
It's been so long. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. It's like tearing apart a goat.
Once you've done that, you just never forget. Oh my goodness, that's terrifying.
Yeah, so it's an oldie. It doesn't have a particularly colorful history or origin, but the history of bikes is interesting, and that you could do a whole show on that. And the different inventions remember the Velocipede, I think, is most usually attributed to the bikes that have that giant front wheel.
Okay.
The
that's
old
a penny farthing.
You're right. But that's what came up when I was kind of looking up.
I'm pretty sure a velodrome, and we could hit up on the Google, the velodrome is like when they do those two bikes and they're like go really slow and follow each other until finally like one breaks away. And it's like that really steep banked bike track.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's called a velodrome.
Velodrome.
Yeah.
Hey, Google, what is a velodrome?
According to Wikipedia, a velodrome is an arena for track cycling.
Look at you.
Modern velodromes feature steeply banked oval tracks consisting of two 180-degree circular bends connected by two straights. The straights transition to a circular...
Stop! Look at you with the velodrome coming out.
Well, a velo. That makes me think about velo.
Yeah, but does that have anything to do with Velociraptor? Is there any connection?
I don't know.
Interesting. Anyway,
I got the tickles.
You got the Velocikov?
it's the COVID's kicking in. Sorry about that.
Great.
Better mask up.
Great. Thank you for my Village Idiom mask. I've worn it everywhere.
Mine's ready.
Oh yeah, you got to pick it up.
I picked up another one. Yeah.
Awesome.
So we're all good now. We can wear the match sets around the city.
Around the city on our Velocipedes.
Well, we're heading into the final stretch here. We wanted to prepare a 3-minute.
That's what we're gonna do.
A 3-minute.
We're gonna do it.
Okay, I like what's happening. So we're on air right now.
Are you ready?
We're gonna do 3 minutes. So we're gonna jump in with the Riddlings. Tell us a bit about that.
Well, Riddling is a game we like to play. It is a 2-part trivia-based question and requires a 2-part but overlapping answer. 2-part, maybe overlapping by syllable or sound or even word or words if we're really lucky. So, I got a couple. You got a couple?
I do. Let me jump into it, see what I can get for you.
All right.
You'll never forget how to diagnose a disorder where you don't have enough blood carrying oxygen.
Oh, say that one more time. Come on.
You'll never forget how to diagnose a disorder where you don't have enough healthy blood to carry oxygen.
This has to do with today's?
Yeah. You'll never forget.
So it's like riding a bicycle.
Bicycle.
What's the last part?
A disorder where you don't have enough healthy blood to carry oxygen.
I don't know. My
Maybe
brain
our
went
illegitimate children will jump in.
It's like riding a bicycloscopy bag.
It's gross. it's like riding a bicycle cell anemia.
Oh, I would have never gotten that.
You don't know
I didn't know what
cell?
Velodrome was.
Okay, fair enough. What do you got for me?
All right, the first one is we're going to skip over a repeat of last week because I'm not sure what 3 minutes looks like here. But my first one for this week is this old-fashioned name for a bicycle is a children's doctor.
Tell me again.
This old-fashioned name for a bicycle is a children's doctor.
All I've got in my head now is Velodrome. But it's not. It's Velopede.
Velocipede.
Velocipediatrician.
There you go. Okay, that's it.
I would go like Dr. Seuss. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. Okay. Eminem and Rihanna's domestic abuse song is something I never thought I'd forget how to do.
Oh, man. I don't know that song. I know the reference. I don't know the name of the song. Is it end in the word just?
No.
What? Give me a hint.
Eminem and Rihanna's domestic abuse song.
Is it like Monster?
Love the
monster.
Love
in
the way
you do.
Love the way you lie.
Love the way you lie. Right. I love the way you like riding a bicycle.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Oh man, we better speed up. Okay, I got one more. Why don't you tell them how they can get a hold of us?
You can reach out, answer this one for us via Instagram at the.village.idiom or on email, thevillageidiom@gmail.com, or whether it's Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter at 3 Minutes Gone.
All right, well, I like playing this game with you. Here's our last one. Don't answer. We're going to leave it for everyone else. Goes like this. The man who was incorrectly given credit for saying today's idiom is the title of a very popular Elton John song.
The John song.
The Elton John song.
Let me see that John.
So that's
John
Riddling.
Song.
Thanks for playing along.
It's all good. Well, okay, so that wraps up that particular portion. And it has been good putting today's episode together. We hope you
really have
enjoyed it. I am Skinny.
I am Jurassic. I don't know. Norco 10-speed Mark.
And these are the Village Idioms.
Riding my bicycle.
Last 3 minutes gone.